Hello friends, welcome back to Joyful Half Acre. I'm Kim, and today I want to talk to you about a book I read this summer. I enjoy reading. I don't have much time to read. I am more of a listen to YouTube or audiobook type stuff while I'm working and doing things around the house. I prefer doing that, then I can multitask, but I don't get much time to just sit down and read a book. So I borrowed this book from the library. It's called, I have my notes, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, because after a year of stress and worry, I just needed something to help me reset. And in some of the videos I watched, one of them, they quoted this book and said how great it was. So I thought I would give it a try, and I did really enjoy it. There's a really funny story about reading the end of it that I will tell you at the end of this video. But first I want to go through a few of the things I learned, some of the notes I took down. It's actually a really good book. Each section at the end of it kind of sums it up, so you can get the main points at the end of the book, of each chapter, and that's really nice. And it's a quick, easy read, so I do recommend this book. But some of the things that they say in it, stop worrying and start thinking. We need to use our brain, we need to think. A lot of times when we're worrying, we're just fixated on that problem, and we need to start thinking, how can I get out of the problem? And it talks about many different situations in the book, but like in one situation, like what's the worst that can happen? Think about that. What is the worst that can happen? Like if you're having a problem at your job or something, you could get fired. Okay. So if that happens, what do you do next? Prepare yourself for the worst, and then think, how can I do better? How can I improve on that? Don't stew over the future. Live each day until bedtime. Now, isn't that just simple? Don't worry, and instead just live each day. You can't change the next second. You can't change the next day. You can only change right now. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Don't worry about what did happen. Worry about right now. Don't worry about it and just live it. Live right now. Some situations you may need to get the facts. Come to a decision and act. That's kind of where I've been, stuck. What do I need to do next? What do I need to do? Well, get the facts. What is there available? What are my options? Come to a decision on what I want to do and act. This summer I had multiple ideas for a career, or not a career, but a job to do to make a little extra money right now and career-wise. And for the future, for a job, I'm like, I just have to pick. What do I want? There's multiple avenues, multiple things I would like to do, multiple things I could do. Just pick one and do it and jump. And you know what? If I don't like it, I can always choose something different in the future. But just act. Sometimes you need to decide how much anxiety a thing is worth and refuse to give it any more. Oh, isn't that true? I can replay things in my mind over and over and over, and I can tell myself, stop. That's not, no. You have to stop that thinking, and I've had to do that here recently. I have to just tell myself, no, that is not worth my thinking, and think about something that is worth my thinking. And sometimes you have to continually change that and put that new thought in your mind, and that's okay. But as you continue to do that, your mind will realize, oh, we're not worrying about things anymore. We need to think about that good. So you're training your brain to think about the good when you stop and change your thoughts. Our life is what our thoughts make it. That is a quote I think I quoted in another video. And it's so true. If we're worried all the time, then our life is full of worry and stress. But if you think of good things and positive things, you will see the positive in life, and your life will be better because your perception is better. And we need to fill our minds with peace, health, all those things, hope, and then we will get better. Count our blessings, not our troubles. Whew, isn't that true? I think we all can tend to say, oh, but this happened and this happened, and this happened. And I can replay things in my mind that happened years ago in my life. But you know what? Count the blessings. What about replaying all those good things in your mind that have happened? We all have good things and bad things, so replay the good. Focus and fixate on the good and it will crowd out the bad. Another thing, creating happiness for others. You know, the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And 2, love your neighbor as yourself. When you serve others, I talked about that in my last video, serving others, or maybe 2 videos ago, on the mission trip, we served. We worked hard and served, and man, it was a blessing for me to bless others. All of us felt that blessing. So serve others. How can you help others? And that will help you feel better also. And prayer. Oh, prayer helps us put into words what is troubling us. It gives us a sense of sharing our burdens and puts into force an action. And so, yeah, I think that's what that's. I may have written that down wrong. But yeah, it really does. Prayer is our lifeline. And we need to keep a hold of that lifeline. And a lot of times when you're stressed, you can not know what to say. That's okay. God does. As I talked in that mission trip video, I was praying with people who didn't speak the same language, and yet we still felt the same prayers to God, you know, felt the same God. So even if you don't know what to say, just say, God, help me. Just think about him. Read his word a little bit. Even if you can only spend a few minutes, just be in connection with him, and he will guide you. Another part or chapter, do the best you can, then put up your umbrella and keep the rain of criticism from running down your back. People can criticize what we do and complain, but don't let it run down your back, or don't let it shower you. You put that umbrella, you can keep that criticism off, you know. Just block it. Don't let it worry you. Protect yourself from that criticism, because that person is not you. They don't know your life, and they don't know how hard you're trying. So you keep trying, keep pushing forward in the Lord, and don't let people who criticize you tear you down. Along with that, you can keep a record of your own good things and learn from others' criticisms and do better. So if others are criticizing you, think, is that something I'm doing wrong? Is that something I should change? If it is, change it. If not, don't worry about it. And do keep a record of the good you've done. Last year, I went to a women's retreat, and I'm going to go this year too. And it was so awesome. But the speaker talked about writing the good things, the blessings, or the oh God moments and awe moments on she did it on a Post-it note. I started doing it on a note card, and like saving them and or you could journal them, or however you want to, because you need a record of those goods. One of the short sermons on the mission trip that we heard one morning, Brother Ben gave a sermon on talking about your staff. The Bible talks about they always took their staff. And why do you take your staff? I mean, Jesus said, don't take anything, no food, no water, no extra pair of shoes, no extra nothing. You'll get all that, but take your staff. Why? Well, interesting. He said it's because their staff, they marked on it, like all the goods, like when they helped save somebody, all the goods in their life, they marked on that staff. And so they could always see the good that they've done. Isn't that awesome? So I want that for on my note cards, so that I can always see the good I've done and the good that's happened to me. Not necessarily that I've done, but that's happened to me. All the blessings. I just want to see all them blessings. And so if we keep a record of those blessings, we won't forget. It's so easy to forget the good and to focus on the bad. So if we have them tangible to look at, it will help us to live the right way and to live for the Lord. And then some other worry things, this stuff I named. Apply these 4 good working habits. Clear your desk, except for what's immediately important. Oh yeah, I try to keep my desk cleared off, because a clear space is a clear mind for me. Some people can thrive in chaos. I can't, and I think most people can't. So clear your space wherever you're working. Take some time to have those routines in place to where you are keeping things clean and keeping things kept up, so that you have a clear mind also. Do things in order of importance. You've got 20 things on your to-do list. One of them things is probably the most important right now. Do that. and then keep working down. And if you have some you don't get to, that's okay. If they're not important, cross them off. If they are important, put them on the next day. You can always get to them, but do what's most important first. And learn to like organize and learn to solve the biggest problem first. And those are a couple of the other good working habits. One of the interesting things in the book, which I don't 100% agree with, it's good to not completely agree with a book or a podcast or a video. It's really good to not completely agree, but yet take the good and throw away the bad and still appreciate it. It said, worrying about insomnia kills, not insomnia. Now, I do agree worrying about a problem makes you sicker. I mean, it's proven that happiness and joy are healing, and that worry and stress can kill you. I mean, you can worry yourself to death. But I do also believe you can be as joyful as you want, and if you don't sleep at all, you're killing your body. I mean, you're doing bad. So you can go on less sleep when you're happier, I think, when you're healthy and happy and your body's working right because you're joyful and not worrying. Yes, I think you can go on less, but insomnia still kills. So that's one thing I'm like, take that with a grain of salt. But it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. And here's my story about worrying. So I was really enjoying the book. I had, I think, 100 pages left, 75 maybe. I was getting towards, I was 2/3 of the way through or so. I can't remember how many pages there are. And the library that I got it from messaged saying it was due back. No big deal. I took all the kids to the library and took their books back, and I said, can I just renew it? And she said, nope, it's due tomorrow and there's a hold on it, so somebody else wants to read it. I was so worrying because I'm like, how am I going to get this book done in a day when I have all these other things to do and I don't have time to read more than 10, 15 minutes a day? So I was stressed about it. I was worrying. And so I read as much as I could that day, and the next day I woke up and I'm like, oh, I have to take it back because I'm worrying if I am keeping a hold of this book, then somebody else can't read it, and maybe they really need this word of not worrying right now, so then I'm stopping them from getting what they need, and this whole thing played out in my mind. So I'm worrying. Next thing you know, before I was going to go to town anyway that day, I go on my phone to listen to a video while I'm, cooking breakfast or lunch or something, and what pops up but the audio book of this exact book on YouTube. Now, that was a God-given thing. He gave me the answer, and he gave me what I needed, exactly right moment. Isn't that just awe-inspiring and awesome? I saw God working right there, and I realized how stupid it was of me to worry about a book about not worrying. That's when it really hit me, and I'm like, oh, this is so dumb. And I learned a lesson. Don't worry. God's got me. So I hope you will think about these things, maybe read the book. It is a good book. There are many others on not worrying, but reducing stress and worry in your life is so important to joy and happiness and living a fulfilled life. So thanks for watching today, friends. I hope you'll like this video, subscribe to my channel, and continue to join me in this joy-filled life. Thanks. Bye.